WrestleMania 41 will include main event matchups between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso of the Og Bloodline. According to Jey, take on in a massive triple threat match, as Reigns aims to defend his WWE World Heavyweight Championship. After Gunther brutally eliminated Jey's brother Jimmy Uso from last week's Monday Night Raw, Yemen may play a significant part in his cousin's showdown at the biggest platform of them all. As the World Heavyweight Champion chained Jimmy to the ring, Jey was left to watch as the ring general left Jimmy in a gory mess. Jey, dressed all in black, took his encounter with Gunther very seriously on this week's Red Brand show. Another possible indicator of a change in character for the top contender is his refusal to dine with the WWE Universe. Ever after Gunther's horrific assault, Reigns has neglected to inquire about Jimmy's health or check in with him. Once again, this has left Jey completely alone. At Survivor Series War Games, Jey had already committed to returning to the Og lineage to aid the OTC and continue his struggle against the new bloodline. Jey may cost the OTC their WrestleMania bout against Seth Rollins and CM Punk if Reigns doesn't make sure his cousins are okay. 41 winning the World Heavyweight Championship would mean the world to Jey and his family, he said on Raw. Despite Reigns' crucial role leading up to WrestleMania, Jimmy is now out wounded and without any family members to support him. 41 on WWE Raw. Bill after complimented Jey Uso on his microphone talents. Bill gave Jey Uso a standing ovation for his mic work on Monday Night Raw this week. After discussing the notion of Gunther being bloodied while wearing a white shirt, the 39-year-old superstar spoke on Unscripted, and he was pleased by the ferocity on show. However, WWE kept things nice. He said that last night's verbal rant by Jey Uso towards Gunther had a positive effect on him. However, when they were face to face, there was no attack. People are claiming that the guy nearly killed his brother. So why didn't he attack him? I was waiting for him to do so because Gunther was wearing a white shirt, which would have looked great with blood, like Dusty Rhodes. But they kept it classy. I thought Jey Uso's anger on Raw was great. To win his first WWE World Championship on the biggest platform of them all, Jey will try to unseat Gunther. For a long time, Roman Reigns was the undisputed champion of WWE. The self-styled leader of the tribe had amassed an empire based on an apparently unstoppable line of succession. Defenses of titles at WrestleMania became the norm. A domino effect of Reigns' power plan and brutality causes each contender to fall like a domino. But a tempest was developing before WrestleMania 41, and it wasn't just from his opponent. It was also from inside his own family. Jey Uso, among others, the bloodline seemed to have healed on the outside. After months of anarchy in 2023 and 2024 marked by treachery, violent altercations, and uncomfortable trusses, Roman Solo, Sikoa, and Jey seemed to have finally found common ground when they officially rejoined, presenting a unified face once more. Paul Heyman made it seem like family was more important than anything else, but anybody paying attention could see that wasn't the case. The blazing intensity behind Jey's eyes told everyone there was more to it than met the eye. Beneath the surface, the tension jangled like a live wire. Even with all his knowledge, Roman Reigns failed to see one obvious fact. The heart never forgets, even if the mind may forgive. Another crowning moment for Reigns was supposed to happen at WrestleMania 41. Cody Rhodes, his adversary, is hoping to finally wrap up his narrative. The arena was gigantic, with more than 60,000 spectators. Allegiant Stadium in Sin City, the pyrotechnics throwing light on the desolate horizon, carrying the weight of the Universal Championship, and the presence of his family at ringside. Roman entered the arena with his customary air of confidence. Confidence gleamed in Heyman's eyes. Solo standing rigidly prepared for battle, Sikoa and Uso Jey put on an act of devotion. But deep down, he was a troubled soul. Given that Uso's motivation to charge, nothing about Roman Reigns' situation was motivated by envy, championship gold, or even the several times Roman had publicly shamed him on a global scale. A key theme was liberty. For a long time, Jey was a pawn in the Roman Empire. He groveled for commands, cut ties with friends, gave up his brother Jimmy, and even gave up his dignity for the sake of his family. claiming to safeguard the family heritage. Roman always referred to it as protection. However, Jey's perspective had shifted. Being the devoted dog chained to the throne of the tribal leader was wearing Jey Uso down, and Roman's protection seemed like a golden prison. For Jey, the light bulb moment came at WrestleMania 41. Cody and Roman's bout was a certain classic, violent and emotionally charged. The audience clings to each near miss as usual. Roman used every strategy imaginable. Problems with the referee, the intervention by Heyman, even Solo Sikoa's punctual Samoan spike. The return of Roman as champion seems imminent. However, when the critical juncture came, an unintentional spear from Reigns himself knocked the referee to the ground. Crawling toward his fate, Cody Rhodes just managed to rise. As usual, Roman gave Jey shouting instructions while they were ringside. Pick up the chair. Put an end to this. Jey slipped into the arena while standing over Cody, his hands trembling from the chilly weight of the steel chair. At the sound of a junction, the crowd erupted in a yell. For the second time, Roman yelled out, "Do it, Jey, for the family." However, Jey had an inward breakdown. He had followed Roman's orders for far too long. He had ignored the inner critic who kept saying, "You deserve better," for far too long. At that point, Jey Uso made a bold choice. He threw the chair hard into Roman Reigns' ribs, instead of slamming Cody. The arena went boom. The horror on Heyman's face was palpable. By himself after years of suppressed anger, Jey finally snapped at Sikoa, knocking him out of the ring with a chair smash. As Roman raised an eyebrow at the guy he had before referred to as his right-hand man, a look of stunned astonishment spread over his face. "You were never my chief," Jey yelled out with a fiery tone. "I was simply too terrified to witness it." To show their solidarity, the audience shouted, "Uso, Uso, Uso." Seizing the opportunity, Cody delivered the crossroads 3 times. A sleepy yet alert referee tallied the pins. 2, 3. What had transpired was unfathomable. Both Cody Rhodes' resolve and Jey Uso's decision to choose freedom over allegiance led to the end of Roman Reigns' epic reign. Cody sprang to his feet in celebration atop the turnbuckle as confetti fell from the ceiling. In the arena, however, the true drama played out between 2 cousins. 2 men united by blood but driven apart by power struggles and treachery. With a combination of anger and sadness, Roman looked up at Jey while holding on to his ribs. In an effort to rescue the remaining lineage, Paul Heyman begged Jey to let him in on his plan. To Roman's feet, Jey lowered the chair, symbolizing the shackle of his former existence, and then left the ring to a deafening applause. Jey halted at the top of the entry ramp outside the ring. He glanced back and met Roman's gaze. Not a word was necessary. The meaning was obvious after a while. Jey Uso stopped being a pun. Jey Uso was finally free, proud, and in charge of his own fate. Roman had made it so he was no longer the primary attraction. Word spread like wildfire in the hours and days after WrestleMania 41. Would Roman seek retribution if this was the real end of the lineage? Solo Sikoa's devotion was uncertain in light of this. But one thing was definite. Uso's defiance had nothing to do with avarice, fame, or envy. It was about establishing his own identity, apart from that of Roman Reigns' enforcer, and escaping the shackles of influence. Because of that one compelling reason, freedom fighter Jey Uso took a risk that no one else was willing to take.